And to guide you on the road to the next reality, here's Suzanne Taylor.
Well, welcome back. Actually, this is part 2 of the intro to our new show, following up on the Cosmic Fuel Pump from the early 80s. So I told you that I was going to read to you each week, and I'm going to start the shows each week this way, or each show. I'm going to read to you from Inside the Intelligence, which is this guidebook for what I'm supposed to be doing here and what the world is supposed to be looking like. So we're going to read a page on each show. Page 1 was last week. Here's page 2. There are many layers to acceptance where there is no fight with reality. In order to live as one big yes, a space of no separation, acceptance has to go all the way through. Your acceptance has to include your crankiness, Suzanne. You have to be the acceptor of your old strings to unresolved pain that still inform the present. We all have to do this. Never hate yourself. God is acceptance. God's love is unconditional. Either God or illusion prevails. Every moment counts. What is the right action in which God is? You have to get that you are the product. What you must do is serve who you are. You must honor and celebrate your own emergence. You must do unto yourself as you would do unto others. Tracking the present, letting it be the one original thought through which your energy flows, seeing everything from the absolute of present time is elementary to an organizing idea. You know, Power of Now, Big Book Now, all about being present. Presence. No past, no future, present. There comes a place where pure beingness supersedes all attempts to categorize. Beauty, art, ecstasy, love express pure beingness. Truth of being, yourself as original thought, the rudder of an organizing idea. Creating is the action of an organizing idea, a constant crust of creation. Creating is an absolute, the energy of divine source. You know, I've figured out, I think I was guided by this, but my basic tenets are what keeps me sane, happy, okay. I have to be creating, I have to be appreciated. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't want to create and have nobody care. Okay, back to book. Suzanne, you can only be heard by those who can hear, and they will emerge as they may. Keep talking. You are refining your thoughts. We are very well pleased. Where in your organizing ideas, Suzanne, do you not find peace? Can we contemplate this subject? Where is that hole in your heart that comes unplugged? Why are you not whole? You want more heart song. Then the plug is in. Your life force flows. A world of loving would eternally charm you. Almost everyone is evaluating instead of entering life where they would not know separation. Replace survival and acquisition with adventure. Gather the messiahs. It's a provocative line to stop on, but that's the end of page 2. And, well, indeed, gather the messiahs is what I've been trying to do. The messiahs being self-aware people, you know, that's where to be, where to go, what to evolve to. So if you're on my wavelength, hey, stick around, tune in, let's work together. So the next thing that, the most recent thing I've done, I told you last week that my big project, the last project to go from this one, was making a film about crop circles, or getting involved with the whole crop circle phenomenon and trying to bring that to the world's attention, that something's going on that we can't explain. It would create us as one humanity paying attention to something else. So I thought, well, okay, the movie came out, got a great review in the New York Times, but, you know, movies get old, and what next? Well, the next thing I thought I would do was become a TED producer. That platform was already there. I didn't have to invent it. I had a lot of ideas for TED. You know, there's ways in which it's so wonderful. Those talks are wonderful. But the events have a little bit to be desired. They're supposed to build community, but they really don't. Everybody just listens and goes home. And I'm good at building relationships and community and gathering the messiahs. So Ended up, by the way, getting into some difficulty with TED. I happened to be doing this at just the time when they started censoring things. A whole big to-do went on about TED a couple of years ago. And a lot of controversy, and people were not happy with TED. Nobel Prize winners were not happy with TED censoring things. And in fact, 2 weeks before my program was to go on, they canceled my license. It was too far out, too much outside the box ideas. The ideas were being held by prominent scientists. Didn't matter. Didn't matter that the scientists had credentials. No, they were thinking too wild thoughts. Program canceled. It was really a terrible thing to do to me. Well, we won't go there, though. But here, you can see for yourself. You can see what a wonderful program it was. This is a little 4-minute sizzle reel that we cut from our TED presentation. So here it is.
We have erected huge apparatuses of armed bureaucracies who will invade our privacy, who will break down our doors, who will arrest us, who will send us to prison, sometimes for years, for possessing even small quantities of psilocybin. And I stand here invoking the hard-won right of freedom of speech to call for and demand another right to be recognized, and that is the right of adult sovereignty over consciousness.
I think science is being held back by a dogmatic belief system. This machine metaphor has dominated all of science since the 17th century.
This issue is bigger than TED.
I have nothing but gratitude for TED. They are my best friends.
I want to answer those people, those skeptics, those atheists, those material scientists who would regard all of this as quackery and woo. The ideas worth spreading is, what is our real purpose? Who are we really? What are we really all about?
What we are defining as progress is really the destruction of our home, our Mother Earth.
I didn't fuck it up. Didn't fuck it up, but they, whoever they are, they fucked it up. Now it's fucked up.
And George doesn't just visit people in prison. George goes to prison because he's arrested for campaigning against things like war.
I became enamored of the crop circles because they could change consciousness. Thank you. My movie. Bill, this is definitely not a TED event.
I began to dream about events that would play out in the lives of patients I would see the next day. And so how could this stuff work? As Sir Arthur Eddington said, something unknown is doing we don't know what. We don't have to engineer or invent this unity stuff. It's part of our original equipment. It is our birthright.
Why can't all of us digitize ourselves? Why can't this data be a sacred construct that we have charge and destiny over?
It's called mindfulness, and it's a key ingredient to a change in consciousness and a new paradigm.
The most controversial of the people is our next speaker.
I'm a physicist, and it's my great pleasure to tell you about the remarkable work we did at Stanford Research Institute investigating psychic abilities. For the CIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, NASA, the idea of non-local connections is not new age. The hottest topic in modern physics is exploring non-locality.
We gather in groups now because we need to intensify the knowledge that we all by now already have. And this is the time to simply say, you go. I know you can do it. And to each and every one of us, knowing that like the abolitionists and like the suffragettes and like anybody else who has brought forth on this earth something more beautiful than was there before, for each of us to say to each other, God bless you and good luck. Thank you so much.
We're going to come together for this one. I want to be an unfucker. I want to be an unfucker. Oh, yeah, really loud. One more time with all your heart now.
That was really quite an episode with Ted. I did pay for that program myself, and Ted did not reimburse me. I still have an open issue. If you want to write to chris@ted.com, he's the boss. You can say, what did you do to this girl? This is a wonderful program. Yeah, it'd be good if you did that. Well, I actually want to make something wonderful. I want to make something here, as I've wanted to do for a long time in other ways. Something that really changes the world. The world needs to change. We can't be so violent. We can't be so greedy. We need a sea change. I mean, how are we going to do that? I tried crop circles. Well, here we are. I tried TED. Here we are. So can we do it? Here's something to think about. If we knew, we had a date specific by which the world was going to blow up unless we did something, wouldn't we all be talking about it? Of course we would. Well, why aren't we talking about it? We are in danger. Imminent danger. Danger of Armageddon. We've gotten too good at blowing ourselves up. And now look, we have terrorists. The bargaining chip to keep things in place, violently nonetheless, with wars and fighting for who wins. But at least life is the bargaining chip. Everyone wants to stay alive. We have no bargaining chip anymore. The afterlife is seen as preferable to this life. The rapture. Where are we going? Who wants to be here? Well, if we don't want to be here and we don't want to preserve it, we blow it up. We blow people up. So good for them. Oh, my. So we can't keep doing this. We really need to have a serious conversation about what we can do, because any moment could be the moment. We really need to make a significant shift. So, talking about blowing the world up, I don't want to, make this too dark and heavy, because I am all ears. I'm very playful. You'll have a good time with me. My little byline on the website says, inspirations and entertainments on the road to the next reality. So we'll have some fun along the way. But back to a little seriousness here. I have a homework assignment for you. I want to read you something from a film. There's a movie that's playing now on HBO. It won the Academy Award in 2016 for short documentary. It's chilling. We have all these people who value the afterlife. Well, this is another perversion of the life force. It's a film about Pakistan. And in this instance, you've got a young girl who supposedly was dead because her father had killed her, lawfully, sort of, and thrown her in the river. And she was not dead, and she got out of the river. And it's her story. But you get to see the mentality that's going on in the world that we have got to do something about. We've got to change the world that has this mentality in it. I don't have the answers, but I have the question, and looking for, our conversation about ideas and what to do, this vital conversation. So I took some quotes from this so that we can have a little preview here for you of what it is that we're up against. The father and his brother, the girl's uncle, are in jail, and they're being interviewed in jail. This is really chilling. When you see it, it's even more chilling than me reading it, because you see how serious this guy is, these guys are. All right, so here's some dialogue. So the uncle says, everything is about respect. What he did was absolutely right. So I didn't tell you what the girl had done. The girl had run away with her boyfriend. And you don't do that. You stay home, and the father runs the show, and they tell you who to marry, and it's incredibly suppressive to women. You can't believe that this is going on in the world, but it is. All right, so this is what the father says about killing his daughter. I am an honorable man. Why did she leave home? I labored and earned lawfully to feed her. This was unlawful of her. I have my honor and my pride. Actually, I'm reading it dramatically. He's so flat about it. I couldn't bear that. If you put one drop of piss in a gallon of milk, the whole thing gets destroyed. That's what she has done. Destroyed everything. My lawful labor. Destroyed it. So I said, no, I will kill you. You are my daughter. I will kill you myself. And he talks about he would have killed the boy too. He said, the boy, listen, the boy has brought such destruction upon our home. I'm behind bars now because of him. So for respect and honor, he says he's willing to spend the rest of his life in jail. His family's been ostracized by the community. They were prominent before. Everybody respected them. They have no respect anymore. I mean, can you believe this culture works this way? Here's what the moms had to say. The mom said, my daughter has done this. Make me die. She's not killing the daughter. She'd kill herself. Well, okay, we don't want to end on that note. You go watch that movie. Watch it on HBO, A Girl in the River. But I want to bring you the alternative, a different kind of mom. So Andy Cohen is a friend of mine. Andy Cohen from The Housewives and Bravo and his nighttime show and all over the place. I mean, Andy Cohen is, a household name now. Well, this is his wonderful mother, Evelyn. And this is just a couple-minute clip of her explaining her thoughts about Andy being gay.
The day I found out Andy was gay, I was shocked. And at that time, things were really bad. There weren't gay people out of the closet. There weren't any gay people that I knew. All I read about were the deaths in the New York Times of young men in their 20s dying from AIDS. I heard about the bathhouses. People were prejudiced, and it was a terrible time. And I thought, I don't know how we're going to get through this. I told this friend of mine, and I said, what am I going to do? And Andy's gay. And she said, well, what do you mean, what are you going to do? He was gay yesterday, and he's the same person today. You just know a little bit more about him. I thought that was sage advice. I decided that I needed to meet some gay people, and I also wanted to do something for Andy's community because I wanted him to know how much I loved him. There was a new AIDS organization starting in St. Louis, and I got very involved with providing housing for people with HIV/AIDS. I met the most wonderful people that were so accepting, and that's the way I dealt with it. I became involved. If I was going to tell a mother today how to react to the knowledge that your son is gay, I would say mourn your loss of expectations that you had for your child or the way you looked at him. And if you have prejudices, and if the prejudice is out there, you need to confront it, because the only way to get rid of prejudice is by learning more about it. So the way I did it was go volunteer at an AIDS organization. You can go talk to your clergy and try to find a different way of looking at it than maybe your denomination does. The important thing is that you have to come to terms with it, and you have to accept your child, or your child will never feel good about himself or herself. When I look back 24 years, things have really gotten better. I feel grateful that my relationship with my son is very good, and he helped me through it, and I helped him through it, and I feel good about that.
Isn't that wonderful? Oh, it just touches me every time I think about it, actually. Oh, the world should all be like this. Evelyn, you go, girl. So, you all go to do the good things and come back. We have to keep meeting like this.
To check out all the references mentioned by Suzanne and to have your own say about the show and about the world, go to SueSpeaks.org.